This is a video about how I repaired my water service line. And in my situation, I had PVC, cast iron, and a black plastic type of pipe. 3 different pipes. The PVC was 3/4, the cast iron was 1 inch, and what I'll call it MDP was 3/4. And I turned it into a 90-foot run of the blue PEX, but I connected the blue PEX and that blue PEX was 3/4 also. So I eliminated the 1-inch steel cast iron pipe. It wasn't copper, it was steel. And I kept just the ends. I connected in right here where it enters the house with the PEX, and then I will show you where it hooked up on the other end down at the meter where the water comes in from the city. So let's just take a walk down the line here for a moment. Okay, here we're getting to where the cast iron pipe is. And that is actually where the leak itself is, and I'll show you how bad the leak was in a minute. And this cast iron pipe, I did make a quick fix on it, and then I decided afterwards that is not going to last. It's not going to work because this pipe had it. And that's when I decided to just run straight PEX from one end to the other. And it was a 92-foot run over to the where the meter, from the meter to the house. Now we're going over to the meter, and you'll see this black plastic MDPE pipe, or whatever. People got different names for this stuff, but let's see how it looks. Here's where the turn on and off, and you can see the pipe. I will pause it here in a minute. That's the pipe I'm talking about. And for some reason it came out of the meter, instead of going in what I would call the correct direction, it took a hard left. I don't know why. So when I did connect the PEX to this, I had to cut it, and then I had to straighten it out so it was going this way. But I did do it, and you're going to see all that. Now let me show you the actual leak itself. This is going to look like it's jumping around a little bit, but I'm trying to show you how this thing was going from the meter, but it was taking a left and not going to the house. And I don't know why this resolution is so bad right now, but there you go. It takes this crazy left for some reason. I don't know why they did that. And they did the same thing with the PVC at the other end. Yeah, I'm recording a video that I already made. It's weird. Alright, there's the leak. And I'm going to shoot this one more time, and I'll put the volume up so you can hear the intensity of this thing. And this old metal pipe was so corroded and messed up, I doubt I could cut it and put a compression couple on it. Up until last night when we turned the water on, we had pretty good pressure in the house. With that, I'm not going to have much water pressure in the house. Thanks for watching. Actually, we still did. But you were paying a lot of money. So we dug the trench. My daughter came down and helped me and my wife out with this. And like I said, it was 92 feet. And you can see what we did. And now I'm going to show you how you can save yourself some money And we did, if I didn't already say it, we did not use those shark bites. That, you go on YouTube and that's all they talk about is the shark bite, the shark bite. And just hang in there and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, you see that? This is where we hook up at the house. And that ain't a shark bite. Nope, it's just one of those plastic couplers, 3/4 inch, and with a little bit of effort, you can make it work. And that cost $3.79, and in my opinion, it was foolproof. Whereas with the shark bite, you got to cut them just right. And I'm going to show you some other money-saving tips here to do this project. It cost me to run 92 feet and fix that leak about $75. The PEX, the 100-foot roll of PEX was like $50. And then the two couplers were $3.79 each. And then the tool I used to cut it, I had originally bought the shark bite tool, had to go under one root. And then I realized, hey, I don't need to have this. And I went to Harbor Freight and bought their cutter for like, instead of spending $35 for a cutter, I bought the Harbor Freight one for $12, and it worked fine. Now that's what I was talking about, that black pipe, and I had to connect into that. And see that shovel? That's holding it. And then I took a heat gun and applied heat to it. I didn't get up close, I kept it at a distance, and I kept it on the low temperature. And it did get it to straighten out enough to where, I could hook into it, because that's what I'm talking about. That thing was coming out of the meter and taking a left, going away from the house. And the same with the PVC at the other end. And I don't know why they did that, but they did. And with that same little $3.79 coupler from Ace Hardware, I was able to splice right in, and you just cut it, and then you hook it up. And you didn't have to worry about having your cut too far apart or too close together. And I loved it. And I firmly believe the coupling, the connection is way better. And all I used was a couple Stilson wrenches. And I did not need to buy also the special tools that you need to, unhook the shark bite thing. And we're going to look at all that here in just a second. Okay, there's your shark bite. And there's that little $3.79 item from Ace Hardware. A heat gun. And bottom line is this. There's the shark bite, cutter. And I'll show you the Harbor Freight one in a second. They're the same, basically. The Harbor Freight one is a ratchet and cutter. And it worked, it did the job, and it cost way less. And these things here, like I said, Stilson wrenches, monkey wrenches, whatever you want, you just tighten them down. I didn't even use any Teflon tape or any that other stuff that they say you need to put over the shark bites after you're done, that other type of tape to keep the moisture out, because they say that the rubber O-ring seals can get problematic with these things. And if you cut your PEX wrong, it can damage that. You don't have to worry about that with these. Watching all the videos on how to do this job, I will say this. All you have to do is go down to your local Ace Hardware, and if you got one like we have in this town, the man that owns it, his family's been in the business forever. The guy's probably my age, and his father, he'd worked in that place since he was a little kid. He knows everything. It's just a wealth of knowledge that you're not going to get from generally the average clerk at a big bricks and mortar store. You can go into, if you've got a local small hardware store in your town, I advise, it's your choice, but go there and talk to them when you got a project and you're not sure about it. Don't take the word of television. Seek out experience, I guess is what it is that I'm saying. Didn't need that. And I bought the other one too that they got, the more expensive, take apart mechanism device tool. And, I just returned it all yesterday and got my money back. And I'm going to show, there's the old PVC, and I do kind of show what I did. I did use a little bit of soap, and I used some of the heat from the heat gun to warm up the PEX and the PVC and the other black plastic pipe. And, you had to use a little bit of strength to push it in, but it worked out okay. Here's the other tool I was talking about, the disconnect tool. This cost, more money. Didn't need it. There's that nice PEX cutter. Looks beautiful. It's got this nice shark emblem on it. Makes you feel like, oh wow, but didn't need it. Sometimes cheaper can be better. I mean, if I was doing this as a career, maybe I'd want the better looking tool. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling on here as usual, but that's what I wanted to try to make the point. I'm almost 70. I did this all with a little bit of help from my wife and daughter. I didn't push myself. When I got done with the job, I knew I had done it, man, because I was, feeling pretty worn out and beat up by it all. But it was gratifying, too. For under $100, I did it. If I brought in a plumber to do it, 92 feet of, digging that trench and all, I'm not sure what they would have charged, but I had been kind of told to be looking to spend about $3,000. And if I can do a job for under 100, as opposed to giving some person 3,000, that I'm real happy to do it for under 100. And, there's the tool I got from Harbor Freight. And it worked. They're the same. You just get it in there and you be a little careful and eyeball it out. And it's got the same type of cradle that you put the Plex into, the PEX or the PVC. And it's got like this little groove. They're doing the same thing. Everybody, I hope y'all having a great New Year. So far, mine started off a little flaky. That leak happened on December 11th. And we finally, I got this thing all back together. It took me a month. I went and got the people to come out and put up the little flags so I knew where the power line was and the cable and all that. We don't have any gas here. But I did get a notice from the gas company saying that there is gas in the neighborhood, which I found interesting. But I didn't run into any problems. And, this is, kind of quick. What I did, you just slip that over there. And then you push that thing in there. And I got it in there without heating that up. The only one I had to heat up was the black pipe. The heat of my hand, I think, was almost enough. But if I'd used the heat gun, it would have gone in a little quicker and a little easier, along with a little soap detergent. And again, you'd slip that ring over the PVC, and then you just tighten them down. And it was not a single drip coming out. Can't wait to see what my next official water bill will be. And then I'll multiply that times 12 and figure out, because our water bill had been a little high. That old steel pipe had multiple leaks in it, because even after I fixed it, the original quick fix, that's when I said I got to do something, because that meter was still, flowing pretty, fast enough to where I was dumping too much water into the ground. I will see y'all later in the new year. Everybody, just things are always going to be screwed up, but you can always fix them yourself if you want them.